Welcome to the Susan Murphy Milano Show. Time's Up, produced and broadcast on the Zeus Radio Network for Hear Women Talk.
Step back, I've been thinking about leaving you behind. Just then, I've been wanting us to revert back to it's like I've been watching all your pictures fade to green. I took each one face down, so I stopped seeing you that way. Now look around and you're not there. I love that you're gone. I feel that.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Susan Murphy Milano Show. I'm here, as I am, live in Myrtle Beach every week with my sidekick cohort, Delilah, from Imagine Publicity, and also for the site for crime survivors, timesupblog.blogspot.com. You know, Delilah, every day there's a missing person across the country. Every day we read about a woman who has lost her life to an intimate partner homicide and violence. Every day there's a tragedy somewhere. 8 to 10 women lose their lives in this country. And there's so many missing persons cases that we don't really hear about. We don't really get the information out. There was a case in Atlanta where a woman was found in the suitcase on Monday, and they're still trying to identify her. And she was beaten to death, washed up on the Jersey shore, or pardon me, Atlanta shore. And somebody needed, even though they're not giving the information out, you know, we don't know who that is.
Well, right. If there was a missing persons report made on that person, they should be able to hook up and find an identity. We just don't know about it yet.
That's right.
And one thing I wanted to let everybody know on the blog Time's Up, we have a new writer that will give readers an opportunity to see what it's like to walk through a day-by-day journey as a sister of a missing person. Her name's Anita Sullivan, and her brother, Michael Austin Davis, has been missing since, 2007 in Jacksonville?
And her mother is a searcher with the Q Center for Missing Persons. And
so we're really excited to have her on board with us, and it's really an honor for us.
Well, it's an honor for us to, as we all do, and we don't have her on enough, Monica Cason, who's the founder of the Q Center for Missing Persons, and it's a nationwide organization. And as I always say to everyone across the country, I don't care if your case is 20 years old or 2 days old. It's the importance of registering your missing loved one, the importance of having an organization who participates in not just your support, but getting the information out there, working with law enforcement. It is free of charge to the families. They are a not-for-profit organization. They have been around since the dinosaur age, I'd like to say, before computers, before the internet. They go out and do searches. They work with the families. And so this is a very important agency that I don't find very many across the country who really have the dedication that I've seen one-on-one with the families. And then with us is Bertha Probst, who is the mother of Amanda Jones. And Delilah, Amanda vanished in Hillsboro, Missouri on August 14th, 2005. She was 26 years old, but she was also pregnant, about ready to give birth. Bertha, welcome to the show. Monica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Bertha, let's just begin with you briefly. Your daughter had a child by another relationship, and at the time your granddaughter was 4 years old. Your daughter was an employee at a bank, right?
Yes.
Okay. And she was, just 26 years old. She had met an individual while at an event, and they got together. She learned she was pregnant. And then what does Amanda do once she learns that she's going to have a baby? Does she reconnect with this individual?
She did. She called him and met with him to let him know that she was pregnant.
And how did he take the news?
He didn't take it very well. He said he didn't want anything to do with the baby or her. He wasn't going to take responsibility, and he offered her money for an abortion.
And
so right at the get-go, he stated his case. He made it very clear that, this is the end.
That's right. And it's a pattern of conduct. And as we wrote about on Murphy Milano Journal today on blogspot.com, he offered her an out. He's saying to her, and we don't see that a lot of times in these cases. And he says, like you just said, I'll pay for the abortion, But your daughter's a God-fearing Christian woman, isn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
She didn't believe in abortion.
That's right. And do you know if they'd had any other contact after she tells him she's going to have this baby, that she's going to go through with it? Does she continue to talk to him? Does he text her? Does he speak to her? Do you know anything like that?
They had no contact until a few days before they met.
Did they? And it's not that you should know this answer, but in how close to a proximity does she work and live to where he might be?
Oh, approximately probably 15, 20 miles maybe.
Okay, so maybe it's not. Did they have anybody in common, friends, acquaintances, anything?
From what I understand, there is a lady at the bank that Amanda worked with that knew him pretty well.
And do you know anything about this young man?
No, I never met him.
And so they were never really dated. They just had, kind of a get-together, and she winds up getting pregnant.
Exactly. It was a one-night stand. There was no dating or anything.
Okay, it's still intimate partner because they were intimate, so that's still... And then, do we know anything about him? Do we know about his family, about his relationships? Was he married? What do we know about him? Anything?
He's not married, but he's been in a relationship with the same girl, I understand, for like 7 years when him and Amanda got together. And
that says a lot, Delilah, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It shows when they're dating or having a get-together like that, he's seeing somebody else. So think about the girl that he's still with all this time, if he's still with her.
Did Amanda, did she make any moves to try to set up child support, or was there anything like that would be seen as threatening to him?
She never told us anything about that, so I really don't know. I know she talked to her best friend and talked to her best friend about asking him for child support after the baby was born.
And has her best friend been able to maybe shed any light on this? Because I think that the conversation that your daughter had with her at the time it can be important sometimes, even though she might not think certain things that are being said are important.
Oh, no, they are important, but the funny thing is that the detectives didn't even interview her.
The detectives from Hillsboro, Missouri, they did not interview her?
This is correct. They did not interview her.
That doesn't make any sense. And it's nothing against the detectives, but these cases are very unique in that it's always the last person to see the person that they had the appointment with, that they were in their view with. An intimate partner, homicide, missing persons crimes are often not really investigated the way that they need to be. Maybe after this radio show, the Hillsboro, Missouri Police Department would like to speak to her because she's made herself available. Is that correct, Bertha?
Yes, and we've mentioned that to them. The Caucasian detective, we've mentioned it to him, and he even called her and made an appointment to call her back and have an interview, but he never did. And this has been months ago. And I asked him about it, and he said, well, he got everything he needed from Amanda's sister-in-law.
They need a intervention down there by there, in Hillsboro, I think.
So where do you feel like the investigation went, or did it go anywhere? Are you comfortable with the way that the investigation is going, or not?
No, not at all. I believe that they ouched it up from the very beginning.
How so?
They did not take this seriously.
Just another missing person. Is that it?
They took it as her walking away.
Because what I saw a lot of things that went bye-bye right away. And even though, we just got this case, I saw a lot of things that were amiss immediately. And I think even 2005 is not acceptable. So, Monica Caucasian, founder, director of the Q Center, when you take on a case like this and you assist the family, you just don't put them on your website. You put life into the case and the investigation, don't you?
And yes, we do. And we did when we first got involved. We had brought life to the investigation, and we thought we were moving forward. And over a year span, in coordination with law enforcement to get to an area to search. And we had at that time a few areas to search, and we had tips rolling in and information coming and people stepping forward. And then I think it was one of the detectives said that there was a mapping program that the county was purchasing, and they really wanted to get that installed so they could do their own maps and whatnot before the search. And, I just wonder, did they ever get that done? Because I think that was like 2 years ago.
Bertha, when do you learn that your daughter is missing and nowhere to be found?
That afternoon, because when Amanda left the church, she had us take care of her daughter, Hannah. And she told Hannah, she said, Mommy, we'll see you in a couple hours. And whenever Amanda told Hannah anything, she was precise. So we knew she would be home within a couple hours.
So did she tell you what her purpose of her meeting was at, was it 1 or 2 o'clock that afternoon on that Sunday?
It was at 1 o'clock. She told us she was going to meet Brian at 1 o'clock at the Civic Center, and that they were going to go to lunch at Off the Hook and talk. Well, they never made it to lunch.
Well, that's not surprising now, is it, Monica?
No, it's not. And this is a clear case of these people, all these people need to be brought in. And irregardless of what hasn't been done or what needs to be done or what never was done, at this point in this case, it's like it's got to stop and fix the mistakes that were made and start all over again. Bring everyone in, put them on a hot seat, start getting information out, and start pushing this case. This is not just one missing person.
It's two.
This is two.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to hold up. Stop right there. Everybody, we'll be right back. Stay with us. We're live from Myrtle Beach. We're with Monica Caucasian, founder of the Q Center for Missing Persons, and we are diving into Amanda Jones, vanished on April 14th, 2005. Stay with us, everybody.
Each one face down, so I stopped seeing you that way. And I look around and you're not there. I love that you're gone. I feel better out on my own. I love that you're gone. I feel better than I've ever known. I feel like I've never been so alive.
I'm Jack Canfield for HearWomenTalk.com, part of the Zeus Radio Network.
Saturday, March 17th, you're invited to the 24th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. An over-the-top parade kicks off a day of celebration at 9 with the New York Shields Pipes and Drums and Wake District Pipes and Drums, followed by a free street festival with 2 stages of live entertainment featuring the Irish rock phenomenon from Philadelphia, Barley Juice, and Theo Nagel, and many more. Rock climb, extreme jump, and win prizes in the children's area. Come to North Myrtle Beach on Saturday, March 17th for a day of free fun, a parade, arts and crafts, food, and entertainment. Festivities end at 4. For more information, call 843-280-5570 or visit our website at parks.nnb.us. It's the 24th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival in North Myrtle Beach on Saturday, March 17th. Remember to wear something green.
Hey, Junior, I went online there at that Maurice's Barbecue Flying Pig, and I ordered me a barbecue turkey and had it delivered right here at the house. Dang, Bubba, you can get all kind of things from Maurice's Flying Pig Service. You can get all the sauces, some of that there Carolina hash, barbecued ribs. I'll swear, Bubba, sometime you act like you crawled out from under a dead-burn rock.
Voted best barbecue in the USA. Maurice's Barbecue is real pit-cooked barbecue cooked 24 hours over hickory coals. Now, you can get Maurice's award-winning barbecue delivered right to your door anywhere in the USA. Check out the complete Flying Pig product catalog at mauricesbarbecue.com. That's www.mauricesbbq.com or give them a call at 1-800-MAURICE. That's 1-800-628-7423.
We're Real Estate Hookup with 25 years experience appraising real estate in Myrtle Beach and on the Grand Strand in North Carolina and South Carolina. After 35,000 appraisals, we know which realtors do best with short sales, who best knows the condo market, and the different realtors specializing in different areas of the beach. We hook you up with the best agent, and we do it for free. That's right, free. We take the guesswork out of buying real estate in Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand. Call us today at 843-868-1214. That's 843-868-1214. RealestateHookup.com.
Hi, this is Keith Brewer of Barley Juice. Join us for a free concert to benefit cystic fibrosis on the main stage in Celebrity Square at Broadway at the Beach in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Saturday, March 17th at 7 p.m. in Celebrity Square, the place to celebrate St. Patty's Day. Barley Juice Live in Concert, presented by Celebrity Square at Broadway at the Beach in association with Zeus Media Network and thecelticforce.com. Come celebrate St. Patty's Day with us and benefit cystic fibrosis.
Welcome back to Time's Up with the Jane Wayne of Justice, Susan Murphy Milano.
Step back, I've been thinking about leaving you behind. Just then, I've been wanting us to revert back to I. It's like I've been
Welcome back, everyone. We are discussing the Amanda Jones case. She vanished on August 14th, 2005 from Hillsboro, Missouri. She was 26 years old. She was pregnant. And Monica, before the break, we were talking about starting over again on this case from scratch because there were a lot of things that were done that were incorrect.
Absolutely. I think it's imperative at this point in her case that a meeting of the minds need to sit back down, start all over, re-interview. A lot can happen in re-interviewing as well, especially in a case that's gone on this long because, you'll catch people in untruths. People may remember something or be more willing to tell something as time passes as well. So, this case, it should have been more aggressively handled. It should have been taken seriously. You've got a young woman missing who is pregnant, not far from a delivery. I mean,
well, here, Monica, what I don't think that people know in Hillsboro, if you're listening, because I know you are, and I know that the person responsible for her is listening. So this is not just one case; this is two. It also is the Unborn Victims of Violence Act of 2004, which recognizes that a child in utero is a legal victim if he or she is injured or killed. And this is because of Lacey Peterson, who was pregnant and died. So Amanda Jones's case falls in that same category. And so this case, once this is finally affected with an arrest, will have both child and mother as victims, not just the one individual. Because Bertha, you had said too as well that your daughter, the baby was coming any day. It was already in the birth canal.
That's correct.
And I mean, so this does fall under the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, Delilah.
Well, when I was looking over this case, there were so many similarities, this Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson case. But, it sounds like being that close, he knew this is his last chance to get out of this.
And like you said, Bertha, your daughter never made it to the restaurant, correct?
No, they did go to the restaurant because the restaurant has surveillance tapes, and they were never there.
How far is it from where they met, at the Civic Center to the restaurant they were supposed to meet?
Maybe 5 miles.
At the Civic Center, is there a gate where you might have to take a parking ticket, or is there footage perhaps to enter the Civic Center?
There's no gate to... they just met there on the parking lot out in the middle.
But sometimes in a parking lot you have to have access and tab a ticket, or there's a camera in some cases, especially with a big Civic Center.
No, there's no camera or nothing.
What is the landscape like from the Civic Center to the restaurant? Is it rural area? Is it a city? What's it like?
No, there's businesses and houses around the area.
Maybe he called her. Maybe they never met there. Maybe he called her on the way and said, "You know what? I changed my mind real quick. Come here." Because what? Tell us, Bertha, when they found her car What did they find inside or not find inside?
Her purse, cell phone, and keys were all missing. The car was unlocked. The only thing left in the car was a bottle of soda that she had purchased and a can of hairspray, and the photo book that she had that she was going to show him of the sonograms of the baby.
Was there any testing on the car for blood or any evidence of any kind of unusualness about the car?
They said they took it through testing, but what results came out of it, I have no clue.
Monica.
Where's that car now?
Yeah, where's that car now?
Oh, the car's been sold.
Okay. Monica, are you able, in a lot of these missing persons families, in these cases that you go in on, do authorities share with you perhaps when they have discovered something in a car?
Yes, and the problem with this whole car that I have a problem with is that she went to meet with him to discuss the child. She had the picture of the unborn child. That's the one thing that's left. The car is left behind, but her personal belongings are gone. I mean, if that wasn't the red flags they needed to say something's wrong here, we already know this is a situation of some kind of meeting. He doesn't want the child. She brings this picture. The picture's left behind. All of these things, I mean, any seasoned investigator would look at this and say, this is not good. Something's wrong here. Let's hit the ground running. And this is the part where this case just did not, it kind of fell between the cracks.
Fell between the cracks. It never even, it was just put by the wayside. And these people should be ashamed of themselves because this is a mother and a child about ready to be born. This person is meeting with them to, not discuss their options, but take them away, basically. And does he admit seeing her, meeting her at all? Does he acknowledge that, Brian?
Yes, he does, but he tells so many different stories about that day.
Okay, so there's conflicting stories. He's not sticking to the same story?
No.
Oh.
No. His time frames are different, and
when do you report her missing?
That's it, that night, that evening.
Okay, so does she text you and say that she's changed her plan or gotten there, or give you a call? I don't know if there was texting in 2005.
No, nothing. We started calling her cell phone around 3 o'clock that afternoon.
Okay, so that you can figure, Monica, between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, no contact. He's got a 2-hour window. Do we know what this guy does for a living?
Well, he used to be a professor at the college, and he got fired from there due to sexual harassment.
Oh, really? So
yes.
He was fired from a college, this professor, for sexual harassment.
Uh-huh. And he worked at the Civic Center.
He worked at the Civic Center, so he knows where everything is. What did he do at the Civic Center? Did he have an extra job there?
Yes, he was a groundskeeper.
He was a groundskeeper. Well, I don't know what's worse, Monica, construction worker or groundskeeper.
Yeah, he had access to all kinds of equipment.
And the fact that you're an investigator, you show up on the scene, you've got a vehicle, you've got all these facts, and then you've got a woman who is pregnant, close to delivery, but in addition, you have medical conditions that are alarming. And I can speak for the Graves' disease because I suffered from that myself. That is not something you can go without care on. You have to be under a doctor's supervision. You have to be.
Are you saying that Amanda had Graves' disease?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
What is that? So for our listeners.
The best thing I can describe is when your thyroid goes crazy, and you can describe it as most cars go 50 miles an hour as human beings. You're going 90, and there's no stopping. And you start to lose weight. You're very nervous. You can lose your hair. A lot of physical and mental things go on. You have to have blood drawn every couple weeks. You have to be under care. You have to be given medication to adjust your levels. Otherwise, your body's going crazy because it's producing all these hormones and all this stuff. And so it's like 10 times worse of a person with too much hormones or not enough.
And so she was a high-risk pregnancy.
Yes, she was. And see, she had none of her medicine with her that day, so there was no sign that she would just walk away.
But she was a responsible adult. There's no way that she would leave. He sets up this meeting. He is the last person on this earth to see her. He is the keeper of the grounds where the crime scene and the car are found. The car is found there on the grounds?
Correct. Yes.
And he doesn't have enough smarts to move it. And again, I want to appeal to the girl, Delilah, that he's living with. I really do.
Yeah.
She must have rocks in her head. It's not worth it.
Well,
Because
you wonder
it's
what
dangerous.
she knows. What does she know? What does she not know?
Is she threatened? And when we see these cases all the time, so if I can appeal to her, anything that you do, anything that you provide, he won't know. And the number, and I'm sure you might know it by heart, but I'm going to give it to you for Amanda Jones in her case. It's 636-797-5562. And that's the Sheriff's Department. And anything that's provided is confidential. It's also on the Q Center for Missing Persons, ncmissingpersons.org. Or you can email me privately at murphymilano@gmail.com. I'll make sure you're safe. But we know, as always, Delilah, that he is listening to this show.
They tend to do that.
They tend to put these cases on Google Alert. They tend to want to know what's going on. And I think that he needs to. Did he lawyer up, Bertha?
I'm sorry?
Did he hire a lawyer right after this?
Oh, the day after.
The day after.
That morning.
That next morning.
Yep.
So he was represented, so he didn't have to talk.
No. Now get this. He hired a lawyer the day after. His girlfriend hired a lawyer the day after that.
So is it possible then, perhaps, that because it's difficult. Your daughter, as far as height and size, is 5'8". She's 215 pounds, even though she's pregnant. That's kind of a big structure, Monica, isn't it, to move by yourself without really being noticed?
Well, he probably got her to go free-willing with him, and then something occurred at that point. And of course, your emotions are heightened when you're pregnant. So if there was an object pulled on her to threaten her baby, she would comply. That's just a known fact in all scenarios with pregnant women or a woman that's abducted that has a child. They're going to comply because they're not worried about themselves. They're worried about their child.
Very unusual for a girlfriend, just by all my years' experience, Delilah, to hire a lawyer. That's very odd. Do we know what girlfriend does, Bertha?
What she does for a living?
Yes, ma'am.
She's some kind of, she works in the office, but exactly what she does, I have no clue.
Okay.
I know where she works. But.
All right. That's, I would be more concerned if you had told me she was in the medical profession, or if she had any medical background. But
that I don't. I know she works with horses.
She works with horses.
She does do that because she shows her horses at the horse grounds.
Does she have like a ranch or
does she have access to drugs, perhaps?
Tranquilizer?
Yes.
I don't
Bingo.
know.
Maybe she's there at the parking lot with her own car. Maybe, again, Monica, you and I do these all day long, and how often is it that a girlfriend's going to lawyer up in a case like this? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen, and she evidently they were talking to him and her, and they both protected themselves for whatever reason. But it's not normal, because the first thing would be concern. When you have a person that's missing and you've been around that person or whatnot, you want to help. You're concerned about that person, irregardless if it's a total stranger. If you saw someone on a park bench and you happen to walk by and you're the last person that saw that person, you're going to show empathy and concern.
We have to go to break. Everybody, go to the website, helpfindamandajones.com. It's up right now. If you have any information on this case, please call the sheriff at 636-797-5562 or go to the Q Center for Missing Persons at ncmissingpersons.org. We'll be right back, everybody.
I love that you're gone. I feel better on my own. I love that you're gone. I feel better than I've ever known. I feel like I've never been so alive.
Hi, this is Michelle with La Bellamy Vineyard. You're listening to Hear Women Talk Radio on the Zeus Radio Network.
Hey, Junior, Maureen wants to know if you and Sadie come over to the house for supper tomorrow night. We ordered us up one of them there Maurice's barbecued hams. Dang, Bubba, last time I was at your house, that young'un of yours bit me on the leg. Took it forever to heal up and get haired over. Well, Junior, you don't have to worry no more. Ever since we've been feeding him at Maurice's barbecue, he ain't bitten nary a soul.
Voted best barbecue in the USA. Maurice's Barbecue is real pit-cooked barbecue cooked 24 hours over hickory coals. Now, you can get Maurice's award-winning barbecue delivered right to your door anywhere in the USA. Check out the complete Flying Pig product catalog at mauricesbarbecue.com. That's www.mauricesbbq.com, or give them a call at 1-800-MAURICE. That's 1-800-628-7423.
Hi, this is Keith Brewer of Barley Juice. Join us for a free concert to benefit cystic fibrosis on the main stage in Celebrity Square at Broadway at the Beach in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Saturday, March 17th at 7 p.m. in Celebrity Square, the place to celebrate St. Patty's Day. Barley Juice Live in concert, presented by Celebrity Square at Broadway at the Beach in association with Zeus Media Network and thecelticforce.com. Come celebrate St. Patty's Day with us and benefit cystic fibrosis.
Tonight, take an adventure on the Myrtle Beach Ghost Walk. Explore the haunted swamps where alligators and the ghosts from long ago still reside. Stroll across floating walkways beneath the Spanish moss as your pirate guide leads you by lantern and shares 13 spooky tales along the way. The Ghost Walk departs nightly at dusk, only at Barefoot Landing in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call 843-361-2700 or visit myrtlebeachghostwalk.com for advance tickets. The Myrtle Beach Ghost Walk.
Blazing the trail, the Jane Wayne of justice is circling the courthouses of America, speaking up for those who have been silenced. Susan Murphy Milano declares, time's up. And now, back to Susan Murphy Milano, because there's never too much Susan Murphy Milano.
Back to I, it's like I've been watching all your pictures fade to green. I took each one face down, so I stopped seeing.
We're back live from the studios in Myrtle Beach. We are here at the Zeus Radio Network, and we are discovering facts about a tragic case of Amanda Jones, who literally vanished on April 14th, 2005. From Hillsboro, Missouri. She was 26 years old. She was pregnant. This is not just one missing person. This is two. It is a baby just about to be born and her mother. And we were talking about before the break and during the break, Monica, about the fact that I didn't realize this, that she has a horse farm or deals in horses and tranquilizers. Now, here's a pregnant mother.
This is the girlfriend.
The girlfriend. And she's bragging that she's still this person's relationship. Now, the person who she's in a relationship with was fired for sexual harassment. He's Bertha, you said he's a computer professor?
Yes, he was.
He was. We don't know if he's still employed now.
I have no idea.
Okay. We'll find all that out later on. But the having horses, and I know that you know a lot about animals, Monica, to have access to tranquilizers and things for animals, what does that say if you're going to do some harm to someone? What would that say to possibly using that on a human being?
Well, it would say a lot of things. When you asked me earlier in the segment, how would he get this woman who is of a bigger bone nature structure, and to comply, and that would be one. If he just got her to sit in a car and tranquilized her, then he'd just drive off and it would be nothing. And then at that point, maybe he would or would not have help, but, most people, do have help, and that comes out later. But, definitely, tranquilizers, any stuff like that you work with big animals, large animals, could be lethal in any situation. So, and you definitely have access to it. If you work with animals, you have that accessible to you where you can purchase it, order it, get it straight from your vet, whatnot. There's not a big deal about getting those type of items.
And maybe, what's sad is, do we know if as a groundskeeper of this facility where Brian worked or works as a groundskeeper, did he have to wear a uniform? Do we know that?
I don't think he did, no.
Okay, but, it's very easy to go get Monica, one of those push cart basket things. You're not going to stand out, are you?
No, and you already know what you're going to do. This whole meeting and everything, there was already a plan in place. So whether she's far away from there or local, he would know that if he knew that anybody knew that he was meeting her, which he probably didn't think so. But again, he's familiar with the grounds. He knows the ins and outs. He knows that areas that are less likely for someone to see anything or be at. So you have that relaxation, if you will, your comfort zone. But he also, has a lot of other areas that he knows is too, because obviously if you work in the woods or around animals, whatever, you love the outdoors, so you become more in tune with outdoors.
But Monica, doesn't she have to be transported from somewhere to some place? So would it be both of their vehicles, one of their vehicles, or rent a car, something? Were these things checked that we know of on the date of her disappearance?
I am not aware, in fact, that his vehicle or anything was checked, but I believe at the time that things like that were happening, search warrants were executed, and that's, but again, he got a lawyer before any of that stuff might have happened.
Well, I'm just saying, red flags, throw it up. Girlfriend got a lawyer. I say, and
you could put it in a horse trailer.
Yeah,
you could put her in a horse
that's right, a horse trailer, which would be parked in that out there, very easy to do.
Nobody would notice anything out of the ordinary.
No. So all of her horse trailers, and again, you just don't. In all these cases, you just don't lawyer up. I'm sorry, especially if you're the girlfriend. First of all,
so obviously they were not cooperative. So if they were concerned at all with what happened to her, they would be cooperative with the investigation, and obviously they haven't been.
If they have nothing to hide, they would cooperate. They would submit. They would do whatever that's necessary. That's just not one life; it's two. Mm-hmm. And I think that's. Go ahead.
You would need a lie detector test.
Was he ever named a person of interest or a suspect?
He was named a person of interest, but from what I found out here about 3 months or so ago, he's not even a person of interest anymore.
So does that mean that they cleared him?
I don't know. That's all I could get.
Well, he's my little person of interest today for the hour and then beyond, because we're going to take this pretty far. Monica, what have you been able to find out? I mean, are they still looking at Brian Westfall?
Well, with the new detective in place, I think this is the right time for everything to start all over again. And just because they say he's not a person of interest right now, and he once was, doesn't mean they've cleared him at all.
And that's and we talk about this all the time.
That's important to know.
Yes, because this is a CYA that people do. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's the duck. That the last person to see that person is 99.99%. It's like the DNA of a child. It's accurate. And so many things in that timeline were missing, and I'm sure that there were a lot of things that were not accomplished or that evidence is gone. But like you said earlier, Monica, there's a lot of hope with making a case, making an arrest in this because all the stories have changed. There's been no consistency. With or without a lawyer, it doesn't matter. But the fact is that now 2 people are missing, and again, she was just ready to give birth, wasn't she, Bertha?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And even if he didn't have anything to do with it, or say no one had, it's a national known thing that when women are in. I mean, even when my daughter was in her last trimester, I wouldn't let her go to the doctors alone. There are crazy people out there that want a child. And I was very adamant about that. You make sure someone goes to the doctor's appointments, make sure, this and that. And even if none of this was, which I believe he is definitely involved, but even if all of this wasn't, there's still area of concern. That's what I can't get past. When you come to a scene and there's a vehicle and there's a young girl missing and she's pregnant, ready to deliver, she needs medication, the sonogram of the child is in the car, that is an alert.
What are the weather conditions like that day? Were they nice? Were they rainy? Were they...
It was a bright, sunny, hot day. Very hot day. And he claims, Brian said that, at one of his stories, he said that Amanda was on the phone for 3 hours, sitting in her car, and there's no way.
No, there's not, because she's going to go home. You know, she has a daughter that's Hannah is now 11?
Yes.
Okay. And I always ask this, and I want you to do this for Hannah, because at some point down the road, she's going to listen to this. What do you want her to know about her mom?
I want her to know what happened to her mother. And she wants to know that.
But how important is it for you to know that you're fighting for justice every day, even though sometimes it may not seem like it, to a little kid?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, that there's not a day goes by that we're not thinking and trying to do something.
And how much does Hannah resemble Amanda?
She remembers everything.
No, resembles. How much?
Resembles Amanda?
Yes.
Oh, she's just like her. She talks like her. She laughs like her. We see her doing different things, and my husband and I look at each other and say, that's just Amanda all over. You know, she is so much like her mother.
Monica Quezon, do you think that there are other people besides these two individuals who lawyered up immediately, that there might be somebody else out there that would know perhaps what could have happened to Amanda, that might have seen something, that might have been out on the road or in a car someplace and thought something was unusual but just didn't call it in or think anything of it at the time?
There's always somebody that passes by in traffic. There's always somebody that looks at something going on the side of the road, says, and just notices it, or even has the thought that, wow, that's kind of odd where they're at, or whatever, he grabbed her arm or whatever. So there is always a witness that, you know, again, unless the case is known publicly through media and beat to death, a lot of people don't even know she's missing, even in that general area. So this is the problem you have. There's someone out there with information, and we need to get to them. We need to find those people. So this is when cases like this have to be rebirthed, reinvestigated, get media involved, start talking about it, do poster campaigns again, and try to help get her face and her name, and does anyone remember seeing her at this location? And you'll be surprised. There is somebody, yes, out there that has information. There's somebody close to these two individuals that thinks something and probably could add to the investigation.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I know this, that some of the businesses out there have stopped, putting up the posters or the information. So I'm asking them, if they're listening in Hillsboro, if they would please, because this case needs to be hot again. It needs to be, because what people don't realize in Hillsboro, Missouri, you have one or possibly two individuals who took not just one person's life, but two persons' lives, an unborn child and a mother. And they're in your community. $10 says you're not going to church with them, but they're in the grocery store. Maybe they're interacting with your own family members and you don't even know it. Maybe they're teaching your child computer technology someplace as a consultant. Maybe your horse is on their farm or ranch or stable. I wouldn't know what I would do if I knew that person was so close to me. So I'm asking that all the businesses in Hillsboro, Missouri, please, 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 put up the posters, put up the information. And if anybody has any information, please call the Q Center for Missing Persons. It's a 24-hour line, 910-343-1131. And again, find AmandaJones.com. That's the website. That's the brand new website. She is 5'8", 215 pounds, 225 pounds. She's Caucasian. Hair is brown. Eyes are blue. We're going to follow this case, and we are not done. And as I always say to the people responsible for these murders, Google my name and then go lawyer up. We'll be right back, everybody, with Monica Quezon. Stay with us.
It's like I've been watching all your pictures fade to gray. I turn each one face down, so I stop seeing you that way. And I look around and you're not there. I love that you're gone. I feel better out on my own. I love that you're gone.
I'm Kate Clinton from HearWomenTalk.com, part of the Zeus Radio Network.
Grab your coffee mug and hear Women Talk Fridays at 10 a.m. Join licensed professional counselor Miss Hicks and friends as they discuss real issues with real people. Find us on Facebook and post your questions and comments to Psych every Friday. Remember to tune into Psych Radio Show every Friday at 10 a.m. and bring a friend. Call 646-652-2071 or listen to www.hearwomentalk.com. Got an issue? Let's talk about it. Fridays at 10 a.m.
Social media is all about the buzz, and now is your chance to build an exciting career from the ground floor with Zeus Media Network. Zeus Media Network, offering the fastest growing social internet platforms in the marketplace, is seeking qualified candidates for local, regional, and national sales positions. The ideal candidate will be a personable, self-starting individual with a passion for helping companies grow. Top performers representing Zeus Media Network are rewarded with a generous, competitive commission structure and unlimited potential. If you possess the fire to succeed at sales and want to work with a company on the cutting edge of technology, then email your resume and contact information to Carol at ZeusMediaNetwork.com. Once again, email your resume and contact info to Carol at ZeusMediaNetwork.com. Zeus Media Network. Hear it, see it, click it.
Saturday, March 17th, you're invited to the 24th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. An over-the-top parade kicks off a day of celebration at 9 with the New York Shields Pipes and Drums and Wake District Pipes and Drums, followed by a free street festival with 2 stages of live entertainment featuring the Irish rock phenomenon from Philadelphia, Barley Juice, and Theo Nagel, and many more. Rock climb, extreme jump, and win prizes in the children's area. Come to North Myrtle Beach on Saturday, March 17th for a day of free fun, a parade, arts and crafts, food, and entertainment. Festivities end at 4. For more information, call 843-280-5570 or visit our website at parks.nnb.us. It's the 24th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival in North Myrtle Beach on Saturday, March 17th. Remember to wear something green.
Susan Murphy Milano. Time's up, as Susan proves there's more to her reputation than a keen mind and a sweet stack of subpoenas. And now, much more Susan Murphy Milano.
Step back, I've been thinking about leaving you behind. Just then, I've been wanting us to revert back to It's like I've been watching all your pictures fade to gray. I turn each one face down, so I stop seeing you that way.
We are back live in the Zeus Radio Network stations here in lovely Myrtle Beach, where we are every week, Delilah, discussing cases. But we do more than that, because we've had some pretty good success with the moving of cases, with the solving of cases, with the arrest of people who are involved and responsible in these cases. And we're going to go to another one because we're coming up on the anniversary of Kelly Rothwell, who on March 12th, 2011, the police cadet, as she was ending her relationship with David Perry, as she was getting her keys and moving on with her life, she was never seen again. And Monica, Kelly Rothwell is also a Q Center case, isn't she?
Yes, she is, and we just conducted another large search for her. I spent New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and a few days prior to that searching for her again, and and we're just going to continue to keep hitting the ground. And there has been a couple small searches since I've left, and we've had on the water. So, we're just going to keep on until we come to some kind of discovery with her, because I do believe she never crossed over that bridge.
I don't think she did either, and actually we featured her case on the upcoming episode, Delilah of Murphy's Justice, along with Stacey Peterson and along with Jackie Waller. And, all three of these women wanted to end the relationship with their life, and neither of them did, not any three of them. And that's why this is so important. That's why what the Q Center does is so important. And Kelly Rothwell, again, the information is on your site, ncmissingpersons.org. And I do believe, Monica, don't they also have a website for Kelly?
They do. They have their own website that her best friend monitors, and it's Help Find Kelly Rothwell.
.com.
Absolutely, and they can go there and find her information as well. And all the events coming up with her and whatnot.
This is also, you're coming up on your 8th annual conference for missing persons and their families in Wilmington, North Carolina. And this year's theme is in support of the journey. Why did you name it that?
Each year we spend a lot of time on our theme, and we try to, go from the last year, and we've done, bridging the gap and expanding the horizon and so forth, so on. And we just felt it was important because that's where we find ourselves 8 years into the conference, is that we're continuing to support this journey. And we're supporting the journey of missing people every day. Whether the case is very active or is taking a break from being active and just cold, we are supporting those journeys. We're getting them heated back up. We're in touch with those families. We're encouraging law enforcement. We're trying to get the next search, trying to think of the next event we can do, trying to keep their face and name out there. So it's a constant journey.
But this isn't, I should just interrupt you for a second. This is not just a conference of people getting together. There's training, there's certification classes. You are having training for the road to becoming a search and rescue technician. You are doing things like training, death declaration, and power of attorney and missing persons, which you and I talk about all the time. That's so important because there's so many areas of litigation for a missing person, aren't there?
Well, yes, and that's a topic that comes up very often. Sometimes, everybody thinks they have to wait the 7 years or whatever to declare someone deceased, but in fact, I have found through 17 years that that's not true. There are many families that are in need of declaring their loved one deceased so that the children left behind are taken care of. Many people, right at the beginning of a case, need some sort of power of attorney or medical power of attorney to get information to get closer to what happened to that person that day. So these are two topics that come up almost weekly in cases of missing persons, and I just think it's important not only the families to be empowered with that knowledge, but investigators to know there is another avenue they can offer their investigation, because it's all about seeking information to get to the next place to search. And this is something that is not only seeking information but also benefit the loved ones left behind. There's always some sort of children or some sort of power of attorney these families need, because especially when you're have a missing adult. There's things that need to be taken care of. They might leave a house behind. They might
leave children behind. They might leave, in the Jackie Waller case, look at what the family has had to, Ruby, her mom, and her husband have had to do to get the kids, the triplets in the Jackie Waller case, who vanished from Cape Girardeau, Missouri on June 1st, 2011, while going and ending the relationship. Again, similar to Kelly Rothwell. This was it. I'm done. I'm going to move on. You're also going to have sonar training, improving and usage deliveries in sonar training. And you're also going to have, topics on forgotten youth and the missing. And you're going to have our favorite, Diane Fanning, who is the view from a true crime writer. You're going to have Donna Gore speaking about surviving homicide. You're going to also have A Father's Journey of Loss and Recovery. David Francis is going to be there from the John Francis Foundation.
Yep.
And they're a not-for-profit organization with the missing to provide support and
well, this will be my third year to attend this, and I can tell anyone and everyone it's jam-packed. It's jam-packed full of good stuff. Susan will be there again, and, she'll be teaching on Document the Abuse. So it's jam-packed full of information, but I think the most important thing is that it puts people together. It connects people in a totally different way. And you come away from this conference knowing people you never thought you would.
But
in a way
you never thought
it's
you would. It's not a conference like you think. I was surprised. Last year was my first year, and I got kind of emotional because I had never been around a group of individuals, 300 of them or so, who were all survivors of something. And I think that I had compartmentalized mine and stuck it somewhere else. And so it was very emotional to be there, to see all these people in a pain together, but yet moving forward. And I think that because of my work out in the field,
well, in many stages, like Monica will tell you, there's people who have long-term missing, and yet there's people who come that maybe their loved one has just recently gone missing.
And those are we call lifers, the ones that are over 20 years. And so this is not just some conference
and
to get
food.
Together.
Oh, my God.
So this isn't a conference just to have a gathering and sit there and sing karaoke somewhere. This is a training. No. This is a coming together of sharing information. So I suggest, if you cannot go, that send the materials. Figure out a way to email me at murphymilano@gmail.com because they're all busy at the Q Center. I will make sure, if you send the boxes, because we're all going up there, if you have information about your loved one, we'll be happy to put it on the table for you. If you can't come, Donald Ross's family, his son. There's so many that we deal with across the country, also a Q Center case. If you want your case registered, if you want, it doesn't matter how old the case is, or if you think that no one will care, they do care. Again, it's the 8th Annual National Missing Persons Conference. You can go to ncmissingpersons.org, where you can find all the information on the conference, where you can register. And again, a lot of families don't have computers, don't have access. So, Monica, it's important, too, that you pass this out at the library, at the local area, because isn't in every town somebody always missing?
Yes, and they are. And we just got a letter the other day of a woman another lady from another state sent a newspaper article to her when she used to live there and knew that she had a missing daughter, just to let her know, hey, this is happening. You might want to go there. It's been 15 years and you've had no result. Law enforcement haven't called her back in 11 years. So, this is where we can make the difference, and she's coming, and I'm excited about that. And that was just through a brief in the newspaper article saying that the conference was there for missing persons. And you're also going to have victims of homicide and people that have lost their loved one that have returned back to support those still in search for their loved one. But
there's a lot there to learn. So please go to ncmissingpersons.org. We're out of time, Delilah, as we are every week. The hour seems to go by so fast. If you are in a violent relationship, before you say you're going to leave or end the relationship, please visit documenttheabuse.com. Look at that lethality checklist. If you check just one, that's one too many. Get out of the relationship. From everyone here at the Zeus Radio Network, until next week, everyone, God bless and be safe.
It's like I've been watching.